Hello, I'm Ken Whelan from telecoms.com at WinWin Live, and I'm joined today by Anthony Rodrigo, who is Group Chief Information Officer at Axiata. Hello, Anthony.
Good to be here again.
Yes, good to see you. And we're going to be talking about digital IT transformation and the importance it has for telcos and enterprises. But first, we must go to the extended reality studio. Axiata is a leading carrier in the Asia Pacific and has adopted many best practices in IT transformation. What do you think are the core elements for Axiata's IT transformation? What progress has been made?
Actually, three core elements in our transformation. First one is open digital architecture. And then we looked at an open source software digital telco stack based on the ODA principles. And then the third piece was really around IT way of working or taking back control of DevOps. So on the first piece, on the architecture, we embraced the TM Forum ODA blueprint as a canvas. And we used that to build a stack that could work with the new digital software as well as the telco legacy assets. Now over time, we have actually built this ODA architecture into life through software, open source based software stack. It includes things like end-to-end, fully automated CI/CD pipeline, cloud orchestration, API management at scale, microservice orchestration, and also includes an API and a software marketplace to search before build. Now, during this transformation, we run 400 plus projects on this stack we call DTE. The latest addition to that stack is actually building an AI factory in the DTE. The third piece was really around the change of working. We had to do this because we had outsourced most of our IT to vendors, but that was getting slow and too expensive. So we decided to take back control of the DevOps. And this is set up through a company called Axiata Digital Labs that actually run the DevOps house for us. Now, overall impact of this is actually quite huge. We've seen the GTM almost 10x, 40% plus savings on IT CapEx. And in terms of the change request that we do to vendors is almost 1 to 0.
Okay, so clearly the answer to that question is a lot of progress has been made. Thanks for that. But obviously IT is developing rapidly. I mean, what does Axiata think are the most important technologies for IT transformation?
Yeah, I think telcos are at kind of crossroads of evolution right now. Some telcos will take a telco to techo journey. In that techo journey, IT stacks and the way of working will play a major role in the transformation of techo. So I feel the key ingredients for this transformation is open architecture, owning DevOps or take back control, running AI at scale, cloud native software, and very importantly, collaborating with partners to co-innovate with the ecosystem. Now, in terms of tech stack, obviously running APIs at scale, microservice engines, AI-driven architecture, and very high velocity CI/CD in operation, and cloud orchestration becomes key piece of the puzzle. Now, along with this, having the infrastructure and the setup to work with external developers and partners is super important. Because as a techo, you're not only building for yourself, you're building with the ecosystem.
Okay, so what do you think is the best IT reference architecture during IT transformation? I mean, how is it used in Axiata?
Yeah, so in our case, we have embraced the TM Forum ODA at a very large scale. It really gives us a nice way to build a digital telco on top of your legacy assets. Obviously, you should not throw your legacy assets. They should be used as long as possible, or sweat the BSS as much as possible, let us say. We do it through an API overlay of the legacy assets. Now, IT must get hands dirty. You can't outsource everything to different vendors. You've got to own the DevOps engine. Now, digital stack is required to power the creation of ODA, bring it to life. So a few elements here that one should have would be API gateways tuned to run on telcos and governance with that, telco adapters towards the network and the BSS and OSS, obviously microservices platform to run telco scale. And then important piece also is the telco business templates. So you can build stuff like Legos very much faster. And then we are running DevOps and CI/CD fully automated to get the velocity of software production.
You mentioned there, I think, the multi-cloud strategy. I mean, how do you select cloud transformation partners? I mean, what are the major considerations?
So we do have a full complement of on-prem and public cloud providers. Our cloud strategy obviously looks at total cost of ownership, TCO, latency, edge requirements, and the overall data architecture. And important point also is the go-to-market velocity. Now, it is not just about technology when picking a cloud. You got to also look at the local support and specialist skills you need on the ground, because every opco, every country, there are different specific needs. So that's requirement. Second piece is really around telco domain knowledge. You got to know, your partner has to know what problems we are trying to solve, and then therefore help us get that done much faster. Third item I want to mention is doing joint R&D with the telco and the CSP to actually co-innovate. Now we are doing some of these things with some CSPs. For example, we are building an AI factory to run some go-to-market use cases. That's very tuned to our market requirements. And finally, I think impact from cloud compute has to, at the end of the day, give you that go-to-market speed and agility.
Well, thanks, Anthony, for that insights and detail about Axiata's IT transformation journey. And it's clear from what you're saying, you're making things happen, which is very impressive. So that's it from Win Win Live. Thank you very much.